It is once again time. I decided to cut that one a little bit short because we've kept you waiting long enough for a video. Feed me more predictions. You know, it hardly feels like we're on the road to WrestleMania. You kind of get the sense that the accelerator is just starting to get pushed in. Nikki Bella versus Paige for the Divas Championship. What the hell the match at WrestleMania is going to be for the Divas Championship? Did you know that they're dropping the ball with Nikki Bella's title reign? If casual fans were cheering Brie when Brie's music played. No, and this wasn't one of those things where, oh, she's the heel, but we love her, we're gonna cheer her. No, this was little kids cheering. This was little kids cheering because they thought Brie was still a face. That's how you know that the booking on the Diva side is so lackluster that we don't know who's a heel and who's a face anymore. Everyone is they're just big shows running around, and Nikki Bella's at the top of that, food chain with who's the only established side. You have Natalya, who's a face one week against Tyson Kidd, and a heel the next week who's on Tyson Kidd's side. You have Naomi, who explodes on Natalya for no reason at a dinner, and then she decides to become a face and just be sympathetic toward Natalya another week. And then you have all this other shit going on with Brie. One week she's a face, one week she's a heel. Paige, one week she's a face, one week she's a heel. It's just like, god damn, guys. Is it really that hard to book a decent Divas division with this much talent in it? And now we're at a point where we might not even get Brie versus Nikki at WrestleMania. We might get AJ versus Nikki, which I would be all for, but I know Empty Ho would gouge his eyes out watching AJ win the championship right in front of him over Nikki Bella. Maybe that would be a great WrestleMania match. It seems like they want Paige to have her WrestleMania moment and win the belt at Mania. JBL, Jerry Lawler, anybody that has any sort of 2 cents in creative, we're begging you, do not, for the love of God, let the WWE have Paige win the championship. She's been there for not even a year, and she is about to tie the record for the most Divas Championship reigns in history. If that is not a female John Cena, I don't know what is, because I see all these internet smarks complaining about John Cena having too many title reigns and not deserving to break Ric Flair's record so fast. For the love of God, what is unfolding in front of your very eyes in the Divas division then? So speaking of technical difficulties, MTO is having some of his own, so I will add in some of his input to the Nikki versus Paige match. Anyway, one thing that's really bothering Empty Ho is that Nikki is just getting buried, All the focus is on Paige, and they're letting Paige get all the momentum. Paige is having all the matches. Paige gets the last word and everything. They don't let Nikki respond to anything, even though Nikki Bella has shown that she can hold her own on the mic like she did on commentary the other week. Everyone thinks that Paige is the one that's over, when it would be the Bellas that would get better reaction if they were the ones put in Paige's shoes right now. For instance, if Paige was the one that was getting owned on the mic, if Paige was the one that wasn't having any matches, then Paige would be the one that, you would hear the cotton candy guy selling cotton candy over her reaction, despite the fact they've had to put all their eggs into her basket for it to finally happen. Whereas with the Bellas, the ball is being completely dropped with them, and yet they still get just as much a reaction as Paige does. But I will hand it to Paige. I have started to warm up to her a little bit. Her character's starting to become a little more lovable. She's a little more tolerable in the ring. She's still not the 5-star classic the IWC builds her up as, but she's not that bad anymore. She's starting to get less green, and my hat's off to Paige. In a year, she has improved. Anyway, in this match, I will take Nikki Bella. She's been the top heel of the division for the past almost 6 months. I think it has been 6 months. It's hard not to picture the top heel of said division in the championship match at WrestleMania, so I'll take Nikki. Gold versus Stardust. I guess you could say that nobody cares about this feud anymore. I would care about this feud, but I do not care for it if it's Stardust in the feud. What I want to see is Cody Rhodes versus Goldust, because let's be honest, how far is the Stardust gimmick going to get Cody Rhodes? If this is all going to lead into Cody Rhodes finally turns into Cody Rhodes again, then hey, I'm all for it. But if this is just the match they're going to have and then Cody Rhodes stays Stardust, then I got to say I really don't care about it anymore either. This is going to be a no finish because they're going to have a match at WrestleMania whether we like it or not. Tag team match playa. The Usos versus Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, a.k.a. the Brass Ring Club. If you ask me, the Ass Ring Club, because these are two of the most overhyped guys on the internet. But one thing I just wanted to say here is it's funny how much more interesting both Natalya and Tyson Kidd are with each other. This feud was pretty much built around Naomi and Natalya. Just goes to show when you put two guys without any charisma like Tyson Kidd and Cesaro against the Usos, who have charisma but they just don't have enough character to carry a feud. It's kind of, yeah. Anyway, in this match, I'll take the Usos simply because I just do not see the Ascension not winning the tag team titles at WrestleMania, despite the fact that they suck. Rusev versus John Cena for the United States Championship. Are we in 2004 again? Something about Cena here I liked. Maybe it was the aggressive style. Maybe it was the shit he was talking. He usually just doesn't take this guy seriously, but hey, you know what? I'm happy with this feud. Just like Gold versus Stardust, there's gonna be some type of screwy finish or no finish, or the match isn't even gonna happen because we've been expecting this for Mania. That's what's hard to pick, you know? It's hard to see Cena putting him over, but it's also hard to see Rusev being defeated at Feed Me More Lane of all places. So maybe Lana ends up being the X Factor. Lana gets banned from ringside at WrestleMania, which me and MT Ho will cause a riot if that were to happen. Dean Ambrose versus Wade Barrett for the Intercontinental Championship. This is one that I wish they would extend until WrestleMania, but these guys have actually had a pretty decent feud for the crap that they've been dealt so far. This is one of those matches that you kind of see what SmackDown would have been had it not been for the brand split, because these are two top players on SmackDown if they had never stopped the brand split. So in this match, I will take Wade Barrett simply because if they are going to have this match at WrestleMania, which is a complete possibility, then it gives Dean Ambrose his WrestleMania moment of winning the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan with the spot at WrestleMania 31 on the line. Every time WWE is faced with controversy, they always manage to dig themselves out of the proverbial hole, and it seems like they've done it yet again. Not only get the boos toned down to an extent for Roman Reigns, but they've actually managed to push Roman Reigns, motivate Roman Reigns, light a fire under him that has made him a better character overall and better in the ring overall. This storyline is enticing, it's interesting, it's good. And the beauty of it is both of them have played the heel in this storyline throughout. And it was always up to the fans, whoever they wanted to cheer for. I'm praying to God that it's Roman Reigns. I can't see Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar as a Mania main event. Mostly because we saw what Daniel Bryan did last year. We've been through that already. I can understand why they wanted to rush his push. It's because right now it seems like it's a great time because of the fact that they've built up Brock Lesnar so much over the past year that it only makes sense that a young up-and-comer dethrone him that can believably stand toe-to-toe with him. If Roman Reigns, if you're listening, which I doubt that you are, because I'm sure you're better off doing much bigger things. This is your chance to prove all the haters wrong. And even if you have a great match, I can already hear them saying that Daniel Bryan carried you, but show them. Going off of a rumor that's going around that Daniel Bryan is going to be put into the main event of WrestleMania for the second straight year. I'd much rather it be a one-on-one match. You didn't build up Brock Lesnar for the past year just to feed him to a guy who had this exact same moment last year at WrestleMania. What you did was you built Brock Lesnar up this hard so you could push a new and up-and-coming guy who has sort of the raw attributes to an extent that Brock Lesnar has, to finally dethrone him at the biggest show of the year. So I can see where it kind of went wrong thanks to the fans and why they would add Daniel Bryan, which is why I wasn't all that upset. Granted, I was a little bit upset that it's kind of stealing away from Roman Reigns' moment. You know, the addition of Daniel Bryan does add a certain spice that kind of became clear to me after this episode of Raw. So I think Seth Rollins is still going to cash in at WrestleMania. It should be an interesting thing to see. Please leave your predictions below. You know the rules. You know the prize. Anyone that has won the pay-per-view prediction game previously, do not worry. I'm fastly approaching these videos. They will be up very soon. Even some of the ones that are long overdue, we apologize for that. But while we're on the pay-per-view prediction game, let's not forget, since we have not done a video since the Royal Rumble, we have yet to announce pay-per-view prediction game winner. Drum roll, please. Hey, it's Jerry Lawler. You know, we always knew you were watching our videos. You get a video, whether it's a week from now or a year from now. Congratulations. This is like kind of like the money in the bank, you know. It's good for up to a year, so use it wisely when you want to. Yada, yada, yada. Blah, blah, blah. They're coming. Run.